Well, She Loves Me is a romantic comedy, and like all great romantic comedies, it features really likable, quirky characters. In this case, we have two people who get off on the wrong foot when they meet one another, have a bit of a feud and a lot of bickering with each other. But they come to find out later that they've already known each other, but only through letters, where they've already fallen in love with each other. And watching those two things gently fold into each other and eventually melt away to a couple that falls sincerely in love is just a delightful story.
She Loves Me is like the perfect rom-com of a musical. CenterPoint described it as a Valentine, and I think that's such a brilliant way to describe it because it is so romantic, so witty, and so funny. So it's based on the same story that You've Got Mail and The Shop Around the Corner is based on. So it's just like a very charming enemy to lovers story, and the music is just stunning.
This show is all about that. It's trying to find love in strange ways or ways that may be unexpected. And so maybe sets up awkward moments and uncomfortable decisions and words expressed, but ultimately is people that just really want to find the right person.
Hey, George and Amalia are co-workers who hate each other, who have no idea that they're also in love with each other, but through letters. And it's kind of the unraveling of that, figuring out, and coming to terms with yourself even, that the person you love is also the person you hate. It's the best kind of romances. You know I love a slow burn.
Amalia is part of a Lonely Hearts Club, and she is writing letters to an anonymous man. And they fall in love through these letters. And I think Amalia falls in love with Dear Friend because she sees his authenticity, and she gets to see who he really is.
With Dear Friend, they have written these beautiful letters, and they're not just fluff, right? It's not just, you're so amazing, I think you're beautiful, I want to take you out. It's, have you read this book? Have you heard this song? Have you seen the weather out today? It makes me want to run away. And I think that kind of intellectual connection, but also just soul connection is what I think is so special about Dear Friend.
I think George is able to create a connection based in common interests and somebody who makes you think. I think that's why he fell in love with the person. I think he found somebody who really appreciated his level of appreciation for his passions and his hobbies and the things he appreciates in art and the finer things of life.
Who's like, I feel like he really loves Dear Friend because she listens to him, and I feel like he feels, especially there's certain parts of the show where I feel like he's really vulnerable, and she's never made fun of him, never made him feel stupid or anything like that. And how do you not fall in love with someone who makes you feel comfortable being yourself? And that's what makes it so fun, is when you find out later that it's the person you hate. It's almost like you're tortured with yourself. You're like, how could I be writing this person who's the worst to me, who I've given my heart to? And that's anyway, that's why I think that he falls in love with Dear Friend.
So there are two parts. I really like the fight with George. She kind of has the upper hand in this fight, and it's just so fun to play off of Ben. We have this chemistry, it's really fun. And I really like the bedroom scene as well, because this is the first time that Amalia and George get to be nice to each other and get to fully connect, and you see that chemistry really flowing. And I really love singing Vanilla Ice Cream.
I have two very different, contrasting moments that I love. One of them is when she first comes into the shop and she's really showing that she's interested in getting a job, and her and George have their first little fight. And it's not really a fight, but it is very, very sarcastic, and I love that volley back and forth. It's so fun. But then on the totally opposite end of the spectrum, I really love the song Or Will He Like Me, which is just a little peek at her insecurity and her vulnerability, and really all of us have that nerve of meeting people and wondering will this person like who I am, or is it going to be just another flop, right? Is it going to be another time I meet someone and I'm not good enough, or I'm too much? And I just love that song. Again, I love the complexity that song gets to show.
Tonight at 8, I really just truly felt that way, even just sometimes just showing up anywhere. It's like, you're gonna go on the date, like what are you gonna do? And like what your anxieties will tell you you're gonna do. You're like, there's 80 things that could happen that could go wrong and I don't know what's gonna happen exactly, and you're preparing for all of them and maybe you won't go at all. And that's like my very favorite song to perform because I really also feel it in my bones, and I just feel like everyone's felt like that before, you know, right before you go and see someone or before you're something important, like even a job, it's not even a date, like a job interview or something like that. And I think that it's my absolute favorite part to do.
Honestly, anytime we're interacting with customers in the store, I think it's fun and interesting. It's fun to see those real life human interactions on stage. So there's a lot of moments like that in the show where it's just everyday life. It's comfortable, it's familiar. Audience members are like, yep, I've done that before, I've felt that before, I've seen that. The characters are written just like a normal human. And so I think they're extremely relatable. And there's enough moments that show that these are real people. It makes it easy to connect with and easy to relate to, because I think we've all had similar experiences in some form or another.
Every line is meaningful. There's so much character and context written into everything, and so throughout the night, everything that happens is just saturated with beauty and color and life, and it really comes to life in this story. The music is fantastic, the characters are fun, and the story is ultimately just very charming and winning. From the leads who are falling in love with one another to all of the supporting characters, even right down to the ensemble, has personality and character. I think they can expect a very charming evening. Anytime you would want to see a romantic comedy, this is the kind of musical that you would want to see too.